Camera opens on a man, Mark, sitting in a dimly lit living room looking thoughtful. Hey everyone, have you ever felt that gut-wrenching moment when the person you trust the most shatters your world? I have. And I want to share my story, not for pity, but to show how sometimes the quietest response can be the most powerful. My wife, Sarah, and I had what I thought was a picture-perfect life. We'd been married for 10 years, built a home, and shared countless dreams. She was my everything. The laughter we shared, the late-night talks. It all felt so real. But over the past year, something shifted. A distance grew between us, a coldness that I couldn't quite put my finger on. It started with small things. She became secretive with her phone, always angling it away from me. Just work stuff, she'd say with a dismissive wave. The late nights at the office became more frequent. The business trips started piling up. I tried to talk to her, to ask if everything was okay. Each time she'd get defensive. "Why don't you trust me, Mark? You're being so needy." Her words were like little cuts, making me question my own sanity. Was I just being paranoid? I wanted to believe her. I truly did. So I pushed my doubts down, convincing myself that this was just a rough patch every marriage goes through. The turning point came on a Tuesday. I had a terrible toothache and left work early to see a dentist. On my way home, I decided to surprise Sarah at her office, maybe take her to lunch. As I pulled into her company's parking lot, I saw her car. But she wasn't alone. She was in the passenger seat, laughing with a man I recognized as her boss, David. It wasn't the laughter that broke me. It was the way he leaned in and kissed her, a long, lingering kiss that was anything but professional. And she kissed him back. My world stopped. The air left my lungs. I felt a strange mix of white-hot anger and an icy numbness. My first instinct was to jump out of the car, to scream, to confront them right there. But then something held me back. What would that accomplish? A messy public scene? More lies? More denials? I just sat there, my hands gripping the steering wheel, watching them as if I were watching a movie about someone else's life. Then, I slowly backed my car out of the lot and drove away. The toothache was gone, replaced by a much deeper pain. That night she came home humming, a little too cheerful. "How was your day, honey?" she asked, kissing me on the cheek. It felt like a betrayal all over again. I wanted to scream, "I know, I saw you," but I just smiled back, a hollow, empty smile. "It was fine," I said. "Just a long day." In that moment, a decision formed in my mind. A cold, calculated one. I wasn't going to give her the satisfaction of a dramatic fight. I wasn't going to let her play the victim or twist the narrative. No, I was going to do something else. I was going to watch. I was going to gather my evidence, protect myself, and let her own choices lead her to whatever end was coming. I decided to pretend I knew nothing at all. So I became an actor in my own home. I played the part of the loving, oblivious husband. I listened to her stories about tough days at work and demanding projects with David. Each lie was a dagger, but I didn't flinch. Instead, I started documenting everything. I made copies of our financial statements, noting the lavish gifts and expensive hotel stays charged to our joint accounts. I installed a simple voice-activated recorder in her car. It was a painful thing to do, listening to their intimate conversations, their plans for a future without me. They were planning to launch a new business together, using a significant portion of our shared savings as seed money. Her plan was to leave me once their new venture was secure. The hardest part was maintaining the facade. I'd make her dinner, ask about her day, and even plan weekend getaways, all while knowing she was counting the days until she could leave me. There were nights I'd lie awake next to her, my heart pounding with a mix of rage and grief. How could the woman I loved be so deceitful? How could she look me in the eye every single day and lie so effortlessly? This went on for 6 months. 6 months of living a double life. While she was building her new life in the shadows, I was quietly dismantling ours. I consulted a lawyer, showed him my evidence, and we drew up divorce papers that were ironclad. I separated my finances and secured my assets. I was building a lifeboat while she was busy drilling holes in the ship we had built together, thinking I was blissfully unaware. The day she chose to tell me was ironically our anniversary. She had booked a table at a fancy restaurant, the same one where I proposed. I knew what was coming. I could see it in her eyes, a mixture of pity and rehearsed resolve. Over dessert, she took a deep breath. "Mark," she began, her voice soft, "we need to talk. I haven't been happy for a long time. I think we need to go our separate ways. I've met someone." I just looked at her, letting the silence hang in the air. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I simply nodded. "I know, Sarah," I said calmly. The color drained from her face. What do you mean, you know?" "I know about you and David," I continued, my voice steady. "I've known for 6 months. I know about the trips, the money, the new business you're planning to start with our savings." I watched as confusion turned to panic in her eyes. This wasn't how her script was supposed to go. She was supposed to be in control, to be the one leaving me heartbroken and confused. The next day, she was served with divorce papers. Everything was laid out in black and white. The evidence of her affair, the proof of her financial infidelity. All her plans to take half of everything, including the money she intended to invest with her lover, fell apart. Her affair partner, David, upon learning that the investment money was gone, and that his own wife would soon find out about the affair, distanced himself from Sarah immediately. His own career and marriage were on the line. Suddenly, Sarah was left with nothing. The man she betrayed me for abandoned her. The money she was counting on was legally protected. Her reputation was in tatters. She came to me, crying, begging for a second chance. She said it was a mistake, that she never meant to hurt me. But the words were hollow. The trust was gone, incinerated by months of lies. I didn't do it for revenge. I did it for self-preservation. I refused to be a victim in my own story. By staying silent and observant, I took back my power. I let her actions speak for themselves, and in the end, she faced the consequences she had created all on her own. It was her own karma, delivered by her own hands. Walking away from that marriage was the hardest thing I've ever done, but it was also the most liberating. It taught me that sometimes the greatest strength is found not in loud confrontations, but in quiet resolve. It's about protecting your peace and understanding that you can't control other people's choices, but you can control how you respond to them. My new chapter is about rebuilding, healing, and finding happiness on my own terms. Thank you so much for listening to my story. I hope it can offer some perspective to anyone going through something similar. Remember your worth and protect your peace. If you found this story helpful, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more content. Take care, everyone.